Solar energy. Jesus on the beat. Solar energy.
Hey guys, welcome to our next episode of US Power, the podcast. Got Peter Sint on with me again.
I'm back.
Peter's back, head of marketing over here at US Power.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on today?
What is it? It's like 11 days from Christmas?
11 days from Christmas.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. 11 days from the end of the year.
End of the year,
'Cause
right?
We have an email campaign going out right now.
Okay.
Every single day. That marks like a countdown. So I'm like basing it around it. But Christmas is like what? Like a week from now?
Yeah, well, today's the 20th, isn't
Today's
it?
the 20th?
So 15 days, 25th.
15 days. Christmas is
No, 5 days. What am I thinking? 20, 25th.
Christmas on 25th.
Yeah,
right?
25th.
Christmas on 25th.
Yeah, it's next week. Holy crap.
Next week.
I'm going Christmas shopping after this.
Yeah. What are you doing today, actually?
I'm gonna do some Christmas shopping.
Some Christmas? Some Christmas?
Some Christmas shopping.
Happy Christmas shopping?
Exactly.
What are you gonna get?
I'm not sure.
Not sure?
I'm not sure. I'm going to get some things for my wife. I'm going to get some things for I already did most of my Christmas shopping on Amazon. I love Amazon. Shout out to Jeff Bezos. Shout out to Amazon making Christmas shopping easy.
Big JB.
But I did a lot of this year. I have a smart wife. She was like, Eric, get this done early.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
And the nice thing is as long as you get the address of the person you're sending the gift to,
right.
bing, bing, bing. I got
Amazon.
so
you just Amazoned that
I just
out.
Amazoned them their
like,
gifts.
Dang.
Yeah, it's just not even wrapped. It's just an Amazon box. Here's your gift. Here's your gift. I was getting like projectors for people. Like,
damn.
Well, you can get a nice projector these days for $150.
You're getting like real estate for people online.
Yeah, I was getting like,
what's
like my brothers and stuff. I'm getting them. Like, I tried to get my little brother an electric scooter because he lives in New York.
Okay.
And he was like, no, Eric, I'm never going to use it. So I got him I gave him dinner money.
Electric scooter. I actually know a friend in Miami. He's like Thailand everywhere right now, but he has an electric bike company.
Nice.
It's actually like blowing up. It's called Orion.
Yeah.
So shout out Paul.
Shout out to Orion.
Shout out Paul for Orion bike.
Orion bikes.
Electric bike.
Oh, I love it. When I lived in China, I used to have an electric bike.
That's how you got out of it?
That's how I got it was crazy because back then, like I wanted a long range bike and the most was like 20 kilometers. Yeah. So like in China, like they'll jerry rig things for you. Like you just take it to like a little shop.
Jerry rig?
Jerry rig.
What's that mean?
Jerry rig just means like they'll tweak it. They'll like anything you want done, you can get done in China.
Right.
Like someone like there's always a way to get it done.
Sure. This is
so bottom line, they doubled, like they duct taped multiple batteries to like the battery I already had, they added 2-3 more cells
to give it more juice.
And it was a duct taped battery. Like they created a battery out of multiple cells. And this battery used to weigh like, it was like 80 pounds.
80 pounds?
It was really heavy.
On top of the bike?
On top, inside the seat of the bike. And when I wanted to charge it, you had
to grab 80 pounds.
80 pounds and I have to take it up 5 flights of stairs to my dorm to charge it. So,
what?
But I was jacked. I was getting jacked. So to me, every time I did that, it was like a workout.
It was a workout.
And I'm going up the stairs. I used to like abs.
How do you charge the battery?
Outlet. Charge it at 120. Yeah.
Because we sell chargers now, right? We sell EV chargers.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to talk about. Like, can you charge that
We'll
too?
do that in another episode because we have an EV charger coming out called
Portal.
Portal, but we're going to show you the actual charger. It's just being shipped in right now to the studio, so
right.
Should have that.
So
next episode.
Okay, so you got an electric bike there.
Yeah.
So
it was amazing.
Was it like a moped or like
it was
an actual
bike? It was like a motorcycle.
Pedal.
No, it was like more of like a motorcycle.
Okay.
It was more like a scooter, I guess you could say. Or what's that brand? That European brand? Damn it, they're called. It's like a fancy. Anyways, it was basically a motorcycle. It could go like 50 miles an hour top speed, so it could go 60. But it wasn't like a big motorcycle. But it was. I could take a second person on my back, so it was. But it was like you could still move your feet in the middle, so it's kind of like a scooter, I guess you could say. It was like a very big.
You're gonna have to show me a picture of that.
I'll show you pictures of it. I got some pictures of it. Actually, I got some. Actually, we'll throw them up on the screen so you can see pictures of me on my electric scooter.
You have pictures
I got
on you?
Some pictures somewhere.
Okay, we'll find them.
So, anyways, my choice. Oh, actually, so there's one of me on a motorized scooter, which is a funny picture. We'll throw that up. I had crazy long hair. I was living in Hangzhou,
Elon Musk.
Southern. Yeah, that was like
back to the first episode.
Elon Musk days. And then the other one, I had shorter, like bald hair. That was an electric.
What do you like better, long hair or bald hair, or shorter hair?
If I could do the long hair.
If you could pull off the long hair.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like, can you pull it off, or can you get back to long hair? Like.
Well, no. I like shorter hair. I just like,
Right.
you want thicker hair.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
I got this Armenian who's got like,
You've got an Armenian?
I got this Armenian buddy. He's got like a real, he's got a butt cheek that's got a bunch of hair on it.
How do you know that?
Well, he told me.
Oh.
Yeah, I met him in Uber, and he told me he'd sell me his ass cheek. So because I can go to Turkey, I could get it on the head to really fill
He'd
the
sell
hair.
you the ass cheek
yeah,
hair.
negotiate. He
That
wanted like
happens.
$3K. And I was like, dude, I'll give you like $1,000 for like that. Really?
Why? Wait.
Because it's so full of like
okay, but
Armenian
why the
thick hair.
ass cheek? Why the ass cheek to the hair?
Ass always has a lot of hair.
That's why?
With
I thought it was like a
Armenians.
certain type of hair that was similar to the
It's
scalp.
curly and it's like really like thick.
Dang.
So this is just a joke.
It's like
I'm
a
just
hair
kidding. Just
trans-
kidding, guys. This is a joke.
We talk about the truth on this podcast. We don't tell fibs here.
No.
Come
So
on.
just
You gotta
joking.
apologize to
Just
the
joke.
audience
Just
for
sorry,
that.
guys. I'm just joking. But yeah, I mean, anything you can do to get your hair thicker. Elon Musk, he did do it. He was able to.
He put ass cheek hair on his.
No, but he figured out a way to get his hair to be really thick again. I think he got.
Was he
hair-
balding at one point?
Oh yeah, if you look at early pictures of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people that are balding, I
Like
can either
big
go,
time. Look at early pictures of him. You'll see all his hair is gone when he's in like his mid-20s.
Well, he's rich as hell, so
yeah,
like, he
so
can do
figured-
anything he
exactly,
wants.
Get a hair transplant.
But I feel like all bald people, like they have a choice to make. Like it's like they get to that crossroads, and it's like choice one, completely go bald, like Jeff Bezos did.
Exactly.
Or choice number two, like something's fight or flight. You know,
Yeah, fight.
Elon Musk went for fight, got his hair
Well,
back.
like, I mean, since we're talking about it, I mean, you guys can see I have a little thinning up there.
I think it looks good.
No, I can rock it. I got the
Yeah, it
right
looks
face.
great.
Like I'm not. I used to do Rogaine, and
It didn't work.
I just couldn't do it anymore. It does work a little bit, but once you start, you can't stop.
What do you mean, like?
And
what-
so like you get a little peach fuzz.
Yeah.
But like then you forget, and it's like you got to keep doing it. It also kind of it's got some side effects. It's just
what
like
kind of side effects?
well, it kind of like made me like less lower energy. Lower energy.
Low
yeah, I felt kind
vibration.
of not
Yeah.
super deflated, but
Yeah.
other things will like affect your libido, which is that's your
Sex
sex
drive,
drive.
yeah.
Exactly, and it's
Oysters.
yeah, oysters ups your sex
Yeah.
drive, so that's good.
Yeah.
I love oysters, but yeah, so for all like and it's $60 every time you buy it. You go out.
Is it like Rogaine? Because I've
Yeah,
never
Rogaine.
used
It is Rogaine. I
No, it's Rogaine. But like when you use it, is it one-time use? And then
No,
just
you
gotta-
have to use it for the
No,
rest of your
no.
life.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying like when you buy Rogaine, like that
Pack?
that pack is it one use only?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
no, I mean it'll last you for 2 months.
Oh, 2 months.
Yeah, it
Okay.
should
So it's
last
like
you
a,
2
what?
months.
What is it? It's like a cream.
Yeah, they do it as a drip. You can get it as a liquid, or you can get it as a foam. I always preferred the foam because
foam?
I get the liquid
Yeah,
all over. So
yeah.
you just put the foam in
Yeah.
your hair and you pat it in every morning, and you pat it at night.
Yeah.
And I was just like, finally, I'm over it. And I just started thinking about it, and I realized that now I use a comb, like like what black people will use, like a black person comb, and like then
Yeah.
no racism here. My
no,
wife
of
is
course,
African American,
Yeah.
but we were
God
like,
bless.
but we were like, to me, what I learned was a lot of follicles are stimulated by movement, and sometimes like especially like masculine folks, like for some reason, like the more testosterone you have, like a lot of times you end up losing hair.
Really?
But then there's like
I thought it was the more you had, the more like it would.
no, the more testosterone you have, the
less
less
hair you
yeah,
have?
I feel like they bald. Like look at The Rock. Do you think that guy has a lot of testosterone?
I mean, I think he injects a lot of testosterone. to
no,
be
he's
honest.
just a fucking beast. So,
I know he does. He probably
but
has a lot.
that is the proven.
come after
That
me,
is
Rock.
proven. So if you have more testosterone, you're in general like you're gonna end
Wow.
up losing hair on your head.
Yeah.
But then there's this other science, which is there. No, it's true. And then there's another science.
I'd keep the hair over the testosterone.
yeah, no, I mean, who doesn't want hair? Like everyone
No,
wants
yeah.
hair.
My hair
there's
is
nothing
like.
to-
I mean, I have a cap on. but
Yeah,
it's
you have
like
good
that.
hair. Yeah,
I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of fucked up right now, but like,
Yeah.
I've always been like known for like my good hair,
yeah,
my good hair,
Yeah.
my
Good
good
hair.
my good skincare.
yeah. You're the Asian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
right.
but bottom line is also you just stimulate the follicles on your head. It's also about blood flow too.
Yeah.
So like you'll see these devices out there with like laser hats with lasers in them that'll. So for me, I started combing with this brush every morning and every night. And actually, it started thickening up again because you're like working the blood.
Yeah, it's
the
like a
blood
muscle.
flow on the top of
It's
your
like a
head,
muscle.
but that blood flow increases the health of the follicles, which allows hair to grow. So,
like-
I think it's
so
like
like-
a more natural way to keep your hair.
Either the blood flow goes here or up here. Right?
Exactly.
Like that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Something like that.
right?
'Cause- Yeah, all throughout the body. But bottom line is it's a very it's a very thin little portion right there. you know, and so by, you know, sometimes you hit your head or anyways, but
Right.
anyways.
I've been told to use it before. I mean, not told, but like I've been suggested just because like I feel like my beard, like it doesn't grow all the way out here just yet. So it's like, oh, like I have friends that have done it.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like that's like
Oh yeah, with the scrapers.
not with the scrapers. Like they use it on their cheeks to grow out a full beard.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I kind of like.
What do they
how-
use though?
Rogaine.
Oh, Rogaine. Oh
Yeah,
wow,
they
they
use
use Rogaine on their face.
for facial hair. Yeah, I know a guy. I know a guy that like had no beard, couldn't grow anything. Maybe had like a pedo stash going on, but then he was like, "Oh, I want a full beard," and he like did Rogaine for like 6 months.
Right.
And like it actually grew out.
Right.
But like you said, he probably had to keep up with it.
Right.
You know, all the time. So Rogaine, shout out Rogaine. Get that for your man or for your buddy for Christmas.
Or
Amazon
get but I would recommend a brush, you know, like that, like, you know, one of those like thicker brushes is actually going to be better.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's working better than Rogaine for me.
for sure.
And that's what that was the learning process, was like, why am I spending $60 every 2 months for a product that I got to use for the rest of my life when I could just go out there and get a thick brush and brush my hair, you know, give my head a massage for, you know, a minute every night.
Does that still work today?
Yeah, and it's working.
Does it-
That's what I do.
Right.
Yeah, and it works, and my hair's.
You think it would work with facial hair?
I'm not sure. You'd have to talk to, you know, to be honest, like I know a lot, but that, you know, hair is not one of the specialties.
Right.
But solar, if you guys have any questions about solar, give us a call, 818-650-8010. Go to sunpowerestimate.com.
Right.
We're going to put it up on the screen.
Right.
You know, if you're living in America right now and your electric bill is $100, $150 a month on average or above, you got to call us. You at least need a quote to go solar and just to see how much you can save, because I mean, rates are going to continue to go up. You own your home. Why not own your solar system? Why not own your power? I think it's the most financially savvy thing you can do in 2024 this year is to consider going solar. And you don't have to do it, but at least get a quote, because a lot of folks think, well, it doesn't make sense. They haven't. How do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know? You know, go talk to a professional company that's been in business. You know, again, SunPower, 1985, almost 40 years in business. We're their direct partner in residential, so we do all the sales consultations for SunPower here in California, Arizona, and Florida. And we would be happy to do a full analysis and design for you at no cost, complimentary, yours to keep, as long as your electric bill is above $100, $150 a month on average. And the reason we say that is if you're spending $30 a month on energy, you know, you're retired and you watch TV once out of every, you know, two days out of the week, you know, it doesn't make sense. You got to be using power to go solar. So if you're one of those very rare people that doesn't use any power in an electrified world, then, you know, don't call us for sure. But if you're like 95% of Americans now, you're using electricity for almost everything. And that includes heating now too, because gas prices are exploding right now across the country, especially here in California. Gas is astronomically high, and it's not going to go down. It's not going to go down, right? So a lot of our customers are transitioning to electric heat, you know, and, you know, a little bit of a rainy day here in LA, but it does feel like.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right?
Winters are getting colder here in California.
Winters are getting colder, but that's how solar panels perform more efficiently.
Yeah.
They perform just like any other electronic in cold temperature.
Correct.
Because it's cooling it.
Correct.
Right?
Just like a computer.
So really, in any case, you know, your panels are going to perform way better, obviously, because there's more sunlight in the summer. But even in the winter, like they're going to, you know, sun power panels, like they run into virtually no issues.
Yep.
But in general, they perform a lot better in cool temperature. So it doesn't matter what time of the year you go solar. If you go solar in the winter, you'll be set for the summer. If you go in the summer, you're taking advantage of that as soon as you get that installed.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, there is no right time to do it except now.
Now.
Just do it now.
The best time to do something was yesterday.
And it doesn't get better. So, you know.
And the second best time is today.
We laugh with our consultants because, and we're not laughing at customers. We're just laughing because people who wait always miss out. And it's either the price is going up because of inflation, which is heavy right now. Everyone knows that the Federal Reserve, the U.S. government, has printed a ton of money, right, to keep the economy floating since the pandemic.
Money's imaginary.
Right, so prices are always going to go up.
Yeah.
And then right now, interest rates are really high, right? So we have very, very good offerings with a power purchase agreement or a lease where you can flip it to ownership after year 5 when the rates come down. So there still is no reason to wait. You don't have to take out high interest debt. You can flip your lease to ownership after year 5. But it was funny because I get a lot of customers right now who've moved forward in the last few months. And I had sat with them a year and a half ago, right? Just after the pandemic, mid-pandemic, after the pandemic, the interest rates were really low. I mean, we were selling loans at 2.99%. I had a 10-year at 0.99%, like free money, right? The Federal Reserve was dishing out so much capital to keep the economy afloat that, and everyone was refinancing their homes. If you guys are buying a home right now, I'm looking at a home. Rates are 7.5%, 8%.
That's a lot
with someone who has good credit, right? And capital. So it's like that's a lot. But these customers, even today, I have customers who are financing their system at 10.5%, which is the rate right now, cash deal, meaning you're not buying your rate. And there are a lot of companies, solar companies out there that will, when they sit with you, they're gonna say, oh yeah, the rate's 3.99 or the rate's 5.45. It's not. That's a bought rate. That rate, if you can't get 5% on a home and your credit score is above $800, it doesn't exist, right? Mm. So it's what we call a bought rate. So always be wary of that when you're especially in the solar industry. A lot of consultants for other companies, they're not going to disclose to you that you're paying a major fee for that low interest rate. So it looks good in the moment. It does make the monthly payment go lower, but I'd happily spend $30, $40 more per month for a few years and save $8,000, $10,000 in cost on the money. Does that make sense? So a lot of these banks are charging anywhere between 10 to 30% fees for that capital. Right. So because what I'm going to do is I'm going to refinance. Yeah. Right. And my mom was a real estate agent. I grew up in real estate sales. Like rates go up and down. They're really high right now. But the Federal Reserve is, I think last week, the Federal Reserve said we're considering. They didn't say it's 100%, but they said we are considering lowering interest rates. Everyone's begging for it. Wall Street's upset. Everybody wants it. We need lower rates. We need to kickstart the economy. We've been in a recession. I believe the yield curve on bonds, treasury bonds, this is like how you tell what I think it's been over a year and a half now that the yield curve's been inverted.
A quick thing. Like have you, when speaking about recessions, have you heard of the stripper index?
Yes, I have.
Stripper index?
Yes, I have.
So let me explain what the stripper index is.
It's actually it's a great
tool, right?
It's a great tool.
Typically strippers, entertainers, female entertainers, they'll see and they can predict when a recession's coming because of the type of clients that come in, and what their tendencies. Mm-hmm. So if they're not spending as much, they can tell.
Recession.
And every time, I think there's like this one dancer that's on Twitter that called it, and it was like a huge thing because she completely called exactly what was going to happen. And every time she's been right.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
stripper index.
Shout out to strippers out there. We don't look down on you. They're just working girls, working men, and working women. I guess on both sides. But it's that's an interesting thing because one of the things they say jumping into economics is strip clubs, alcohol sales, tobacco, entertainment. Even our business, solar, it does very well in recession.
Recession proof.
Because our business does well in recessions because people are trying to save money. So they're trying to save $50, $100, $200, $300 per month on that big electric bill that they can't avoid. And if they're home because they're out of a job, that electric bill is going up. They're sitting in their home using more power, right? So going solar is a very good industry even within a recession.
Right.
But circling back, entertainment always does good historically.
Of course.
Film.
It's what people need
to pick me up. They need
to
feel good. They're bummed. The economy's bad.
Crazy.
They're not spending money. But they will spend. People will spend money on themselves. So those are some recession.
If I do look at like my, and I'm younger, but I'm sure a lot of people relate. If I do look at like my past credit card statements and everything, it's like always like 60-70% like stuff that I didn't really need.
Right.
But that's just the economics of people, right?
Yeah, be happy. I mean,
be happy.
It's really important to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
And that's the nice thing about going solar. To spin it back to the point of this podcast is when you go solar, it's not just something financially that's awesome, but it does feel good. Like you're number one, it's cool, it's hip, right? You're solar, man. You got a free energy home. Like if you have a battery, you don't even need the grid.
What's
right?
the grid?
So the grid is the infrastructure that you're tied into.
Right.
And
So
full
your
disclosure, everybody who's in a corporate zone here in America, meaning that your municipality is corporatized, it's a corporation essentially. It's a federal law that you're grid tied for the most part. So that just means that even if like in Southern California, Edison or PG&E or certain investor-owned utilities where those utilities are not owned by a municipality. They're owned by a corporation, an investor-owned corporation, which issues a dividend. You still have to be tied to that grid. And in those utilities, even if you have a battery, you are still tied to that grid. Meaning if your solar you turn your solar off and you turn your batteries off, you're still going to have power.
Right.
That said, if you have solar and you have batteries and there's an earthquake or there's a revolution,
you still have
or
power.
There's a war or something weird happens, you got power.
Aliens.
You got power. An alien attack. You're the one person who's going to have energy on the block, right? Everyone's going to be coming to your home. Maybe that's not a good thing, but you will be. So you're, it is the most American thing you can do is I think going solar because you now own your power, your energy is in your control, not the control of a central authority, which quite frankly doesn't care a lot about you. And this is why, we're big, crypto people over here. We're big believers in Bitcoin, but it is what we call decentralized energy, decentralized energy, because instead of having a central authority that controls all the power, makes all the power and dishes that power out at an ever increasing price, now you own your power. You own your power.
I own it.
And your neighbors own your power. And it's healthier for the grid because there's more power coming at a better price that is in multiple spots. Meaning that, and this is all technology that is coming, eventually these decentralized marketplaces, we will be able to sell our surplus energy
to other people.
Not just the grid. But what needs to happen, and this is one of the points of this podcast, is we need to get the message out there, is there are laws here in America that prevent, entrepreneurs and businesses from creating that sort of a transaction because the system was put in place. This utility system was, the reason that was a federal law was 100 years ago, America, not having a grid across the country that was a weakness, right? So we needed to set up infrastructure as a country, and we needed to give utilities jurisdiction and basically 100% control of their jurisdiction so that they could run lines and that they could, get lines out to suburbs so that those suburbs could develop into communities so that every American could get a home, right? And not be out in the boondocks. We set up this beautiful infrastructure here, and we're one of the, a lot of countries, people do own homes, but America is very special in that, the American home is like the creme de la creme. Like if you go even into Europe, through Europe, you'll see they're homeowners, but they're really little homes, and their urban, our urban sprawl is different, where they really focus on kind of more medieval design, where the city is much tighter, homes are much smaller. And then you have big suburbs with farmland. We're here in America, we just have big suburbs.
Very dense.
Yeah, not as dense here. Oh, dense.
Dense in population.
Dense in population, but our cities are much bigger, much vaster.
Right.
They're not so small.
Yeah, right.
But we have these really good grids that are set up. So this was why, and this was a good thing. And it's the same with the banking system, right? The banking system was put in place to create stability, right? To make it easier for Americans to get banked, to make the Federal Reserve was put in place as a charter to basically limit inflation and bring down unemployment. Like that is their key charter, is there to prevent the country from going into a depression.
Yeah.
Right. So recessions happen. But when you go into depression, it's bad. I mean, it's really bad. And we haven't had a depression like we had.
2008?
No. That was a recession. Depression was like the Great Depression. That was the last depression that that was the last real freaking depression. And, one of the reasons the Federal Reserve was created was to prevent things like that from happening again. But what's happened is
they've taken too much control.
They've gotten out of control because when you give when you give anything, what's the quote? Ultimate power corrupts ultimately. Is that the quote? I think ultimate power corrupts ultimately, meaning that like when you give anything the ultimate power, eventually it's going to get corrupted.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what's happened with the Federal Reserve is, it's like a heroin. Every time they print money, they are able, it's addictive. They print money, the banks get bailed out, the bankers still get rich by doing all this stupid stuff.
How do you think we're sending like trillions of dollars across the sea?
There's no limit to it. But it's the same with the utilities now, where utilities like, I like to make, I don't know if we talked about this in the last podcast, we have a new guy we're training today, and I was telling him about Edison, where March 14th, March 14th of this year, they stopped net energy metering, meaning that these utilities now, these investor-owned for-profit companies, they'll allow you to go solar, but they're not going to buy your surplus energy back from you at fair market value anymore. They're going to stiff you. They're going to give you like 8 cents. So the fair market value in those utilities is 32 cents right now here in California, which is expensive. If you're listening from Florida, your average cost of electricity is around 10, 12 cents.
Pretty good.
Much cheaper. If you're in Arizona, it's the same, similar, 8 to 10 cents, 12 cents.
Where is the lowest electricity? I think maybe
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, I haven't been doing that side of the energy.
I'd feel like it was like Arkansas or like some.
And it's because there's a big manufacturing hub in Cleveland. So there were some special deals with the utilities there that were able to drive because they were buying such bulk power from the old manufacturing companies.
And talking about like old manufacturers too, like
but it's also nuclear. There's a lot of nuclear there. So they were able to mix nuclear
power plants.
Exactly, which really drove down the price of power.
I think it's really crazy, like the history of like how these cities were formed in the utilities, especially in like places like LA.
Oh yeah.
Because people flock to, and this is like a natural thing, but people flock to like waterside towns.
Yeah.
It's like when we first started out in the U.S., they were all setting up base. They weren't setting up base in the middle of the desert. No. Like that's recent. East Coast, West Coast, like next to the water. So around those bodies of water, those are like the most popular hubs and, cities and stuff. So, I mean, obviously, like it kind of depends where you are geographically too. And I think it's like a chain reaction. The more resources a place has, the more people they're
naturally going to be attracted.
To it. Yeah,
exactly.
Why do you think like people just like, I'm talking like, why do you think people just like randomly settle in a new country and just pick?
Well, I mean, we all know people come to the U.S. because of the opportunity and the freedom. But once they get here, they're usually going somewhere because they have family, or like I came to L.A., for
you were born in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm born in Ohio.
Yeah,
but I came out here for the solar business, and the entertainment business. I like to just fully transparent. Like I've told you, guys, I've worked in movies, I've been producing in film and television as well. My main thing is solar, which I grew up in. So, but this is the Mecca. LA is Mecca for solar globally. Right, this is Southern California is the largest solar market in the world.
Yeah.
For residential, period. Right. So it's a very good, very innovative, very aggressive market. Right. So it's like, and it's the same with entertainment. You got New York and you got LA. So, for film and television, it's really more LA where, most of the moves are being made.
Now it's spreading. I mean, it's spreading to. I mean,
Toronto,
after COVID was like a huge like catalyst event.
Yeah, I mean,
people were going to Nashville, Atlanta, Miami.
No, and it can be anywhere, and that's the cool thing about the entertainment business is there is no hub. Like entertainment's global, and it's the same with the solar business. Like you can be in Alaska and solar makes sense. For half of the year at least. But half of the year at least. For the other half, you need
like 126 days of darkness.
Exactly.
Vampires
so you got, like,
come out.
Long-term batteries.
Yeah.
But jumping back into why talking about the utilities is that they've gotten corrupt, right? They have gotten very corrupt, and they're corrupt across the country. And they're doing that, like what they just did here in California, where they said, nope, we're not going to buy your power back anymore. That's going to happen in every state across the country. Right. That is the beginning, because here they've lost the most customers. Right. And that every time we sign someone up to go solar,
they've lost the customer.
They lose their bottom line shrinks.
It's like a war.
It's a war. right? And you know, it's a fun war. We love the war. We love the battle, right? We're in it to save the world, but it's a war, right? And this is the new movement.
Do you think
right?
they do a lot of tactics?
Freedom of power, freedom of power. You have the right as an American to own your power, and anyone who tells you differently is wrong. And if they put laws in your face, we're going to fight those laws. Quite frankly, we're going to change it to your favor.
And that's what I was going to say. These laws are like their rules and methods of oppression there.
Yeah. And profit, capitalism at its best. Like and here's the thing, we like capitalism too.
We love
capitalism.
We
love making money is good. Like I'm a faithful capitalist. That said, there's a limit, right? There's a reason that we have, that there's a reason we'll bust up a trust, or a monopoly. Right here in the United States, if there is a, there's a reason Standard Oil, was broken up. Now that move, believe it or not, made Rockefeller by far the richest man because he had shares in every sub entity of that breakup deal. Mm-hmm. So that's another story in itself. But monopoly is a bad thing because you lose competition. And what's happening here in California? The lines are failing. We have fires that are caused by the utilities. They're getting lazy. There's power outages all over the place. So half the time they're running out of money, and they need state funds to subsidize their infrastructure, right? So that's corruption at its finest. And by limiting the free market, you can't have technology grow, right? And that's again what's happening with the crypto space too. Is a lot of the and a lot of the politicians are on our side too. They want Bitcoin. They know this is the future money, right? They know that this is a future, blockchain technology, all securities, all bonds, all equities, all assets, physical or non-physical, will be going on a blockchain 100%, right? It's a more transparent way to keep a ledger. As a public shareholder, I can see what's being done. I can see where the money's going. So there's a lot of benefits, to having that rather than, and I'm not saying banks are going away. Like, we like banks, it is always good to have a trusted authority to store some sort of wealth for you. But, there is a new solution right now, which is self-custody, or to, rather than holding dollars, hold something that is going to grow in value, not shrink in value.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier too. Like, we keep almost nothing in our actual physical bank accounts. Like, we invest all that. Obviously necessities, but why just let your money sit there when you can actually have it grow at the same time, it's sitting. So, I mean, I didn't find this out until I was, maybe a year or 2 years ago about just investing what you have. But it makes total complete sense. And that's what you're doing with your power too. Instead of I think Moises said this on the last episode, but it's that's captured equity. Everything that you're spending every single month, that is captured equity back on your roof.
You nailed it.
So,
you could, if you're spending $350 a month to Edison or to PG&E, bye-bye. You're never getting that money back.
It's like
and
rent.
It's going to keep going up. $350 next year. It's $370. The year after that, it's $400. The year after that, it's $410. The year after that, it's $420. The year after that, it's $500.
If you're going to be in the home, if you know you're going to be in the home, you bought the home, you might as well put the solar on it as well. It makes total sense. Especially
in a state, if you're in Ohio, right? It still makes sense. I started selling solar in Ohio, and Ohio snows and rains for 6 months out of the year. So if you're living in a sunny state like Florida, California, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, it makes a lot of sense. You just need to find the right company. And that's a really important thing too, is finding the right company, because there are a lot of solar companies out there that aren't going to take care of you. They're in and out of business. They're all over the place. So, one of the reasons we created this podcast is to, obviously so you can get to know us. We can have some fun, talk about crypto, aliens, AI, which we'll get politics, technology, fashion, all the other cool stuff, talk about ourselves a little bit, but it's mainly to educate you guys on not just the benefits of going solar, but who to do it with, right? Which is us, right? And we want to take care of you. You're our customer, and, give us a call. Let us at least get a quote out to you to show you how much you could save, because knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, right? And at US Power, we want to empower you guys as consumers with knowledge,
Of power.
On power.
Knowledge of power. Yeah. US power. Exactly.
Right?
And now, speaking about utilities, that one kind of, made me think of something. You remember the movie Chinatown?
Love Chinatown.
Jack Nicholson, right? It's all about DWP. Like they're fighting mobsters and stuff.
Yeah, DWP was founded basically the mob money.
It's the mob. It's
yeah,
the mob
Mulholland
money.
and all those guys. It was all backed by the mob. And in the beginning, DWP and we work with DWP every day. We like DWP. DWP is not going anywhere, and it is a much more forward thinking. There was some old leadership. They got sued about 10 years ago because they weren't crediting customers correctly. There was a class action. They lost.
I bet that's not the worst thing they did.
No, but DWP was about their big money was in the water, right? Because in LA is a desert basically,
and that's what the whole movie was about.
It's all about the water. Yeah, Chinatown about the, but they also have DWP, Department of Water and Power.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So
I think that was a great one, and I think that's that kind of storytelling, and maybe people didn't realize that was about the utility.
Yep.
But I think that kind of storytelling, which is what we try to do, every day, be creative, be innovative with how we spread our message, is a great way to touch people, right? And speaking about that, what's your favorite movie, Eric?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
Avatar.
First one. The first one.
Yeah.
You don't like the second one?
I do like it.
The
I loved
first
it.
one.
We saw it together.
We did see it together, actually.
You don't have to tell the story.
Yeah,
I ate too much food.
I think they want no, hold on. I think they want to hear the
So
story.
Avatar is my first.
Avatar is your first. Did you have
Avatar is my favorite.
Did you see a similar? Did you have a similar experience watching the first Avatar?
No. Oh, you mean no? Yeah, no. I just fell in love. Like it just when I saw the first Avatar, I was like, that was just the best movie I've ever seen because it connected with so many of my beliefs.
Right.
Right. Which was like, for me personally, like
family.
Well, family, but more importantly, like us as humans.
Yeah.
Right. What our purpose is. Like I'm a spiritual guy, I believe in God. I don't care if you're Muslim, you're Jewish, you're Christian. Like to me, it's all the same. God, Buddhist, like whatever that energy, that godly energy that's all around us, that karma. To me, that's all the same thing. And it's like when I saw that movie, like what I really liked about it was how, James Cameron connected, made Pandora, which is the name of that planet, a living thing, right? You remember Sigourney Weaver, she's in that movie, she's like putting a needle into the root, right? And she's comparing it to the neural pathways of a brain, right? And they're able to sense a conscious, like a living spirit of that planet Pandora, and that's a belief I've always had about
Earth is a living
this planet, right?
Yeah.
And all bodies, all bodies of
body.
matter have some sort of a spirit, in my opinion.
You think like this water bottle has a spirit?
It does. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's not a conscious like you and me,
right?
But those, the rock, everything has energy, right? It's all vibrating.
It is.
These are all atoms on a certain level that are
I've talked to girls that actually like believe like, okay, if I yell at my plant, like it'll grow, like 100%. Yelling at your plant.
I've seen this work in reality.
Really? Have you done it?
Yeah, I had a plant that I was ignoring. I was watering it, and then I started I go up and I touch it. Hey, I love you. You're such a good plant. And I touch it with my hands. I give it some affection. It all of a sudden it changes. It becomes strong. It becomes strong. I mean, and there's another guy. There's a Japanese guy who did this with snowflakes.
Yes,
right? With snowflakes, where he froze water.
Froze water.
Supposedly, water has memory, which I believe in. And if you were yelling at it, the water would freeze.
It'd be like
ugly
weird,
pattern.
ugly pattern.
But if you were saying beautiful,
and I think he like played songs to it, right?
Yeah,
he played melodies to it.
It would freeze. It would freeze and be
to
very
a beautiful
very
shape.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Sound is a form of energy.
Right.
Sound is definitely a form of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say going back to Avatar though. As I was saying,
saying.
the second movie, it was a great movie. I just thought it was a little too longer than the first one. I think the first one had like a lot of substance to it for like how long it was.
Yes.
Second one was kind of like, okay, like there's a lot going on now here, right? But it was a great movie.
Yep.
But the experience was what made the movie for me. So as Eric was saying, me and Eric went to go see the movie.
Yeah.
I think it was like one random Friday night or something.
Yeah, it just came out. I'd wanted to watch Way of Water.
Just came out. We were hanging out with Marissa, ex-wife, and she was like, nope, screw the movies. She didn't want to go. Like,
let's go see it.
Chill, let's go. Boys' night. Let's go see a movie.
Out.
We get there, as you know, the movies overprice everything.
Yeah.
But we were just hungry. Something about, even if we ate before.
You mean the food?
Food, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it was
Overpriced everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a theater.
It's a movie theater, right? That's what I always say. Another quote.
yeah.
I like quotes, but a water bottle, it's about where you are, which determines your value too.
Yeah.
Right. A water bottle here could be $2. Water
Right.
bottle at the movie theater could be $5.
Middle of the desert.
Middle of the desert,
100,000.
could be 100,000. I was gonna say the strip club, it's $10.
Oh,
that's pretty high, but regardless. We got a bunch of snacks because when you go to the movie, you get real hungry all of a sudden. You want to get some food. Right. I think we got like popcorn. We got chicken nuggets. Got a hot dog.
I overate.
Got some candy.
I overate. Long story, I got sick.
Long story. Let's keep it long. Let's keep it long real quick.
I got sick. I ended up throwing up.
No. Let's keep it long real quick. I'm going to tell you scene by scene. We get to the movie. We're like 30 minutes in. We finish all the food because that's what happens at the movies. You finish all the food in the first 30 minutes, right? Watching it, and all of a sudden, we finished the food. And I think Eric asked to use the bathroom somewhere halfway in the movie. The movie's like 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Leaves, and I'm missing for like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Comes back, and I'm like, hey, like everything all good?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Was you told me after the movie or was it during the movie?
It was during.
I think correct me if I'm wrong,
I just
but
got too excited. I ate too much popcorn.
You went back to the concession stand, got an ice cream
I
bar,
ended up getting something else.
finished it before he got inside back to the movie place.
Yeah.
Finished it, realized he got sick,
Yeah.
went to the bathroom and threw up,
Yeah.
and then came back.
I came back, yeah.
So all that in like a span of 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes.
So, and when he told me this, I couldn't sit straight the rest of the
He was
movie because I
laughing.
just kept
He was
thinking
laughing.
about that.
Yeah, he kept.
Yeah, but that's why we haven't been back to the movies ever since.
Yeah, not me. I've been to the movie.
You've been to the movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been to a few movies.
Yeah. When was the last movie you saw?
Last movie I saw was Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big World War II guy.
Big World War II.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? You know, Grandpa fought in the war, so.
Right. I saw Barbie the last
Barbie.
one.
Oh, Barbie was actually they just came out at the same time.
Yeah,
Barbie
did you
was
see
the
that
last
one
one
too?
I saw in the cinema.
So
Yeah,
you
I
saw
Barbie.
Did you do the mix?
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
So you did
Barbie.
Oppenheimer and then Barbie?
Not at the same time. Yeah.
Not at the same
Not
time.
at
You
the
did it after
Correct.
or different days?
Oppenheimer then Barbie.
On the same day?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what a lot of people.
Yeah, a
that
lot
was
of
the whole
people do it
phrase.
together.
You know, that was the whole craze. Yeah, I think those movies did a really good job of like marketing each other.
Yep.
Like cross marketing, just because.
Oh yeah.
Give it to the fans.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
And that's one of my favorite types of marketing here. Is what we do is like building that audience and letting our fans, take control of it.
Yeah.
Spread it for us.
Exactly.
That's what we do with Chinese Eric.
Chinese Eric. Eric likes to speak Chinese.
Eric likes to speak
We'll
Chinese.
get into that in future episodes.
We will.
Talk
We
about
will.
My Chinese,
we will.
my adventures through mainland China.
Yes, but we have a big Chinese fan base,
big-
and we are
big
very
Chinese.
appreciative of them.
Yes, and we do like the Chinese. We're big Americans here, but China is a misunderstood place, and we should do an episode on China. Talk about
should. We
China
should talk
because
all about China.
believe it or not, the Chinese love
China.
America. They love Americans.
China.
They love you. If you're tuning in and you think China's your enemy, they're not your enemy. They're not your enemy. Who's
our enemy?
No one's the enemy, but the Chinese government's not that great, my opinion. They need to shape it
North
up.
Koreans.
I mean, listen, I don't know him. I'm not going to say he's my enemy. I don't know.
You don't know Kim Jong-un.
All I know is he's flexing.
I think he's misunderstood.
He's misunderstood. Exactly.
lot of
I think
people
honestly, I could sit down with that guy and see him eye to eye with him.
Yeah. Have you seen the interview?
No.
The movie that you've never seen the movie,
No.
The Interview. You
No.
gotta watch it.
No.
It's actually, if I would ask
Really? The Interview?
my favorite movie,
The
my
Interview?
favorite comedy movie
Yeah.
is The Interview.
Gotcha.
So funny.
Gotcha.
So funny. It got banned though. That's how Sony got hacked. You know that?
No.
Sony got hacked because The Interview,
Yeah.
that was released by Sony, and they North Korea hated it so much
Oh my gosh.
that they hacked Sony.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You didn't know about
No,
this?
I didn't know that.
They had
They actively targeted Sony.
they actively
hacked
targeted,
them
hacked their
because
database,
they were so
leaked
mad.
a bunch of stuff.
because they were so mad about
They're so
creating
mad.
that film.
North Korean hackers.
Yeah,
hacked
see, that's
Sony.
why one of the reasons I'm not trying to piss North Korea off is too. I'm not sure,
Yeah, I think we're
I'm
under the radar in
exactly,
North Korea right
exactly.
now.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
China's got their back. So
For
you know,
sure.
I'm a at the end of the day, all I know is that we need to do bigger things as a planet. So we got to start getting along, right? This is a family here. Seriously, the Chinese are our family. The North Koreans are our family. The Egyptians are our family. The Israelites are our family. The Brazilians are our family. Do you know what I mean? The Antarcticans, if there's someone down there, they're our family, right? We're all part of the same world, right?
We're all,
we have different
same.
cultures and different backgrounds, but in this day and age, when you can move money across the world instantaneously with Bitcoin, right? Like this is a global community, and we need to start acting like one and doing things like a global community, right? Instead of thinking, oh, this is my land, that's your land. You stay inside I'll stay inside mine. It's the same water.
We're all
it's
under the same roof.
air. It's the same sun. It's the same amount of fish in the sea that we all eat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Every little move affects the other person.
Right.
Right? So it's time to start thinking big. That's one of the things we're going to start doing here at US Power is thinking big. And one of the things you can do right now, thinking big, is get a quote to go solar. Call us, 818-650-8010. Text us, email us, go to
DM us,
sunpowerestimate.com. We're going to put it on the screen for you to look at here. Very easy. It takes 2 minutes to put in your information. We're going to reach out to you. We're going to schedule an appointment to come out for 1 hour of your time, 1 hour of your life to sit down with you and show you how much you can save. We're going to custom design a system for you. You have input. We don't just say that's how it is. You know your home better than anybody. We're going to show you the most efficient roof planes to put solar panels on. But bottom line, this is a big decision that, it saves the world. It saves the world. It puts money in your pocket, and it's a baller move to make. Give us a call. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you then.